Okay, so no doubt you cannot remember a time before you were a musician.
Correct.
So, given that your dad started to teach you, I'm guessing at a certain stage you probably moved on to other teachers, did you?
Yeah, yeah. So I started getting lessons when I was in year five. We were living in Port Macquarie at the time when I started getting lessons. So I started getting some lessons there with guitar, and then we moved back to Mudgee. So I stopped guitar lessons then, but started singing lessons then. So I started singing lessons in Mudgee, and then I yeah just went from there and mostly self-taught for the last several years.
Okay. And when did you start writing songs?
I wrote my first song when I was in year seven, walking home from the bus. So
Okay.
about 12, 13 years old.
So was it obviously something popped into your head, but given that you were writing it walking home, were you just sort of singing something to yourself so you could
Yeah,
remember?
yeah, it just popped up in my head and I had a phone or iPod or something at the time and I quickly wrote it down in notes, got home and finished writing it then, picked up the guitar and took me a couple of weeks to figure it out and then I figured it out and went from there. Really, I've been writing songs ever since.
Right. So when you wrote it, did you think, "Oh, this is pretty good. I like this." It was obviously unexpected because it just popped into your head.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was a massive fan of the song at the time. Yeah, I thought it was the best thing in the world.
No, but also just the whole idea of songwriting that it was
Oh,
something
yeah,
you hadn't
definitely.
planned. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just that creative flow when you start thinking about something and it goes from there and getting all these other ideas, being able to tell a story through your songs as well. And I thought that's something that I really like, so
Yeah.
stuck with it.
It's good that you were a massive fan of that very first song because most songwriters I talk to always say, "Oh, I could never go near the very first songs I wrote. I hate them. I never want to hear them again."
It's certainly not one that I'll be releasing, but
Oh, it was a good foundation.
it was good at the time.
Yeah. So, given that you were in high school at the time, I imagine that you chose music as a subject for your high school certificate.
Believe it or not, I actually didn't.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I sort of steered away from music a little bit towards the end of my high school years for that selective, when you get to select your subjects. I steered away
mm,
from it and I was focusing on my sport and a lot of other things at the time.
okay.
It just wasn't something that I was as passionate about back then. But once I got out of school, I fell back in love with it and continued and decided that I want to get back into it.
I guess if you were playing sport, that does take a lot of time and therefore
Yes.
is very competitive with playing an instrument
Yes, definitely.
and with songwriting.
Yeah.
And in fact, like just school just seems to be so jam-packed these days. I don't know when kids have time to do anything.
Look, between school, work, sport, it was hard to fit music in at the time, and I thought I was on my way to playing for the Boomers, so
Oh, okay. All right. So you were very serious about your
I
sport.
was pretty serious about my basketball. Yeah, yeah.
So does that mean you were playing at a state level and beyond?
No, no, no. I didn't get the opportunity to play that high. I had a couple of injuries, and then COVID came along and sort of shut everything down.
Okay.
So
Oh, I really don't like the term sliding doors moment, but it kind of seems appropriate in that, there's the
look,
impact of COVID on your
yeah,
sporting career. Yeah.
definitely, definitely, and from that it made me pick up my guitar more. I couldn't go out and do anything, so may as well stick at home and write some songs and learn a couple more songs and just stuck with that now instead of my sport.
I do often think there are parallels between sport and any art form really in that sport teaches you that you just got to do a lot of practice before
Yeah,
you
definitely.
get to achieve something.
Yeah, absolutely. You if you don't train or you don't practice, you're not going to go anywhere with it, and you're not going to improve. And that's something that I'm big on is always improving. So
Hmm.